When it comes to the Irish Cup final, no team has dominated the 80s like Glentoran, winning 5 times over that decade.
Jemison to tackle, and now Cleary. And they're onside, 3 men in the box. Crossing near post, and Jemison has scored. Mullen could pick up on this. Dornan's back there, and it's an own goal by Paul Mooney. Cleary again. Campbell, the only man forward for Coleraine. Now, George Neal with a chance. Miller called for it. He's got it. Morrison's in the middle, but he doesn't need him. The substitute has won the cup for Glentoran. Now Morrison. Morrison could go all the way. He's broken through. Mullen wants it. It's Jerry Mullen against Vincent McGee, and he's done it again. 32nd minute of the match. Jerry Mullen gets the goal.
Their last win in '88, courtesy of a last-minute Jim Cleary penalty. The last time Portadown were in a cup final was in 1979, when they lost 3-2 to Cliftonville. This year, they're chasing the double, having clinched the league last week with a 2-0 win over Linfield. Hello and welcome to Windsor Park on this, the glamour day of the domestic football season. The Bath's Irish Cup final, it could be one of the most intriguing for years. Well, it's hot, it's sunny, a big crowd's expected. A little bit earlier, I went to the two teams' hotels to check on the build-up. The Park Avenue Hotel on Belfast's Hollywood Road was the pre-match retreat for Glentoran, as it is for all their big games. Experience of the big occasion and a healthy diet combining to help contain the jitters. Goalkeeper Dean Smith found the prescription just right.
Very good. Just something light, I think. Most of the boys having toast, bit of steak or something. Nothing too heavy, especially with that weather.
Yeah,
much fun.
The experiences with Glentoran, of course. I mean, is it the same preparation going into a big match like this?
Well, I think most players anyway, you know, they have a wee routine and they don't really like to change it. We've been coming here now for all the cup finals, and most players have the same meal and look after their own boots and things like that. But we just approach it like any other game.
Goalkeeper sometimes a forgotten man. Everybody looks at the strikers and who's going to score the goals to win. Does that put more pressure on you, or are you happy enough being in the background?
Well, you know, obviously it's all about scoring goals, but at the end of the day, I mean, if we don't concede any, it gives us a hell of a chance.
Stephen Douglas, a whole new experience this for you.
Yeah, it certainly is. My first cup final. People have been asking me, are you nervous? Certainly these interviews are starting to soak up the atmosphere, starting to feel a few butterflies.
It must be a very special game compared to all the others you played this season.
Well, I've read in the paper this morning it's certainly the biggest game of the season. When you think about it, it must be Bath's Irish Cup final. 23
goals this season, though. You're obviously hopeful for getting on the score sheet today.
Yeah, well, I've been disappointed really with my performance, although I've scored a few goals that carried me through. But I think if I scored today, it would certainly make up for it.
Raymond Campbell, does the odd steak and a bit of scrambled eggs settle down the nerves a wee bit?
Oh, well, I'm a bit nervous at the minute, but once I get out there, I'm sure it'll be okay. The old kids with Billy Casca and the boys will keep me right, I think.
There's a few old hands can settle you down on the pitch.
Oh, well, Casco's been great this morning, and I think he's nearest to me on the pitch, so I think he'll be great today.
I think when more or less this is the problem time before the match, it's more or less when they get out on the pitch they can get rid of all the butterflies and everything. We've still got them for maybe the rest of this afternoon.
But you revel in the occasion, obviously.
Well, it's nice to get there again. This is our 3rd time since I've been at the club, and we'll win it in 2 occasions, and hopefully today we'll maybe make it the 3rd one.
Well, round about the same time, the Conway Hotel in Dunmurry was playing host to the Portadown team. They enjoyed similar fare by way of lunch and seemed in relaxed frame of mind before boarding the bus for the big game. Fancy a lift to Windsor?
No.
Stevie Klein, this is no new experience to you. You've done cup finals before.
Yeah, 1 or 2. I just hope they turn out the same way.
How does this one compare to the others?
I think it's the same. It's every big game is always a good build-up to it, and all the boys enjoy it, so it's just much the same.
Alfie, no new experience, although a new one for Portadown maybe, as far as you're concerned.
It's very enjoyable, Stephen. I've been in 4 cup finals with the Glens, won them all, and just hoping to win this one as well, you know, especially for all the lads involved with Portadown over the years, you know. They've been starved of success. We've done it last week and hopefully we'll do it today again.
Mickey, sporting a new set of footwear there, is that especially for the occasion?
Yes. Since the club put a lot of effort getting the rest of us kitted out, I thought I had to splash out and buy new pair of shoes myself.
Obviously, the goalkeeper, a lot of responsibility on your shoulders today. They've been scoring a lot of goals through the season, Glentoran.
Glentoran have been, yes, but they haven't got them against us so far. The back four, well, a lot of spotlights going on myself, keeping clean sheets. If you counted the number of matches that I didn't get a shot, it stands by the back four, really, give all the credit to them.
Brian Strain, you're obviously looking forward to the afternoon.
Certainly am, Stephen. It's been a great day so far, and hopefully come 20 to 5, I'm looking forward to lifting the cup.
There don't seem to be too many nerves at all. It's quite surprising actually on the bus here. Everybody seems to be in very good spirits.
Yes, I would agree with that. I think last week, obviously, winning the league title has removed a few of our pre-match nerves and a lot of the tension from the match. But once we step out onto the park in front of hopefully a big crowd, I'll say there'll be a few butterflies in the stomach.
So the two teams wanting to get the preliminaries over and get on with the final. Let's join your match commentators, Roy Coyle and Mark Robson.
Well, what a splendid afternoon. The pitch and weather are quite superb, and what an atmosphere here at the National Stadium. One of the best crowds in an Irish Cup final for years. Well, the pressure is very much off Portadown. They've done it as far as the League Championship's concerned, beating Linfield by 2-0 last week. They can relax, and there's Glentoran, the Irish Cup specialists. They won the Cup 5 times in the 80s, and looking for another success today. There's the Portadown team. The main news is that Roy McCready, so important in midfield, has been past fit. He came through a full practice match on Thursday night. He suffered no reaction to his hamstring complaint. Kevin McKeever had been struggling with a back injury, but he's okay. And up front, those two influential Scotsmen play, Sandy Fraser and Stephen Cowan. But are Portadown taking a risk with McCready, who hasn't played a full competitive match since the Cup semi-final? There's the Glentoran team. George Neal is fit and plays. So does Terry Moore, who has a hand injury. It's well strapped. Caskey, Devine, Campbell and Jemison will probably make up the midfield. And in attack, Stephen Douglas, another injury doubt, plays alongside Gary McCartney. The referee is Alan Snoddy, who goes to Italy soon to officiate at the World Cup. And he's a father again. Wife Elaine gave birth to their third child on Tuesday, a girl, Victoria. So here we go then with Glentoran kicking off. And straight back immediately to Dean Smith. And he is defending the goal in front of the massed ranks of the Portadown support on the Spion Cop today. Douglas is the target. Up there goes Major. Jemison, Douglas and Roy McCready. Here's a chance perhaps early for Douglas. Tries one. Stephen Douglas just passed a fitness test, and that wasn't a bad early effort. Roy Coyle.
No, it wasn't. It'll help a lot too, because he's been coming in for a little bit of abuse, but he is a good player and he complements Gary McCartney well.
Mickey Keenan in the Portadown goal, just able to let that one go. It was John Devine getting in there between McKeever and Mills. Great young prospect, John Devine. Beaver, Major, Caskey. For McCartney, Brian Strain's there. Member of that very solid Portadown back four, Brian Strain. Terry Moore, hand bandaged, looking for Gary McCartney. Alfie Stewart. And McCready. McCready's done well. Is he carrying an injury though? McCready. For Steve Cowan, it's Barney Bars, and no problems. 2 cup finals for Barney Bars for Glentoran. Curlis, McCready, and McCready, although he may be struggling, is already getting through quite a bit of work. There's Ian Curlis. So a free kick from an interesting situation for Glentoran. John Devine has taken up a position on the far side of the penalty area. Douglas and McCartney are there too. Jamieson. There's Caskey in there. And Greg Davidson clears. Greg Davidson played such an important part in that league championship win when he came on as sub last week. Neil for Barney Bars, given a wee bit of space, looking for McCartney. Away by Strain. Raymond Campbell and Davy Mills. Raymond Campbell with the throw-in, looking for Caskey, who's so good at shielding the ball. Campbell, Jamieson. Oh, so close from Johnny Jamieson. A man playing in his 7th cup final with 6 wins so far and almost scoring the first goal of this final.
It's a typical throw-in for Glentoran. They always look for Billy Caskey, and Caskey's great at shielding a ball. He lays a good ball back with Campbell hitting the ball first time. It was a great header too from Johnny Jamieson, and he was very unlucky. The keeper's beat.
Four minutes gone then at Windsor Park, and already 2 chances for Glentoran, falling to Douglas and Jamieson. There is Johnny Jamieson, so experienced now. Went to the World Cup in '82 with Billy Bingham's man. Caskey and McCready, and Caskey winning it this time. Here's Douglas, looking fairly sharp. Raymond Campbell. What an atmosphere there is here today. Mills and Alan Snoddy gives the free kick to a rousing cheer from the crowd against Davy Mills, a hard tackling midfielder indeed. So a similar sort of situation to the last free kick, but from the other side of the penalty area. McCaffrey, Devine gets up, and no problems for Michael Keenan. There's Conor McCaffrey, but Roy Coyle, a very encouraging start for Glentoran, and one wonders are Portadown perhaps too relaxed after that league win?
Well, that is a possibility, Mark, because I'm looking at the midfield of Mills, McKeever and McCready. All they're doing at the moment is a marking job, and they're letting Glentoran just push them back. They're prepared to sit and wait, and they're just going to try and hit in the break. But the problem that they have at the moment is they don't have Marty McGee that's got the electric pace that can hurt you on the break either.
This is gone. Terry Moore and Sandy Fraser, and the free kick given against Terry Moore, who's a little bit surprised by it all. So the first attacking situation of the game for Portadown with 6 minutes gone, and they have the big men up in the penalty area, Brian Strain and Kevin McKeever. Fraser's the man towards the near post. That's looking for Strain. It was aimed for, but it was Billy Caskey who managed to get there. And an important interception from the experienced former Northern Ireland international. Greg Davidson with the corner. Brian Strain again, waiting to run from the edge of the penalty area. Up goes Caskey again. Campbell, very quick little player. Jamieson, Douglas, and Alfie Stewart. Then on, Mills. Bars, George Neal screaming for it. And that was McKeever doing well in midfield, but now Caskey, McCready, and Strain. Cowan and Terry Moore came in hard there. Jemison, Moore and Stewart. And there's certainly plenty of pace about this game, Roy Coyle.
Yes, the thing I'm also a little bit disturbed of, Mark, was the non-selection of Joey Cunningham. The players that have in midfield are all good players, but none of them have got that little bit of extra pace that's necessary to do a bit of harm. And Joey can get into good positions from deep, and he did score a lot of goals when he was in the Portadown side. I think that was a bad decision not to play him from the start.
The opinion of a former Irish League manager, Roy Coyle, and now Raymond Campbell. Good skills from him, scored a great goal in the semi-final, you remember. And again, it's Davy Mills on Ray Campbell. That could prove to be a very interesting little personal battle between those two. And that's Mills.
Once again, Mark, you saw the difference between a little bit of pace and the lack of a pace.
McCaffrey, Douglas, and Keenan. And everyone held their breath there, especially the Portadown men. That's not a good ball. Nobody in the box at all to aim for at that stage. Caskey is now back. Oh, what a good ball from Caskey. Here's Jemison. McCartney to his left. The cross for McCartney. That was Stewart, importantly. Jemison again, and McCartney, but just out. Sonny Jemison was put away there. And Roy Coyle, what a superb ball.
Tremendous balls. We saw it early, Billy Caskey. The weight of the ball was perfect too. And Jemmy should have done better than that, because McCartney was waiting at the back post on his own. If the ball had been delivered just that second earlier, I think they'd have scored.
And here it is.
You see the pass. He should have done better with the ball. But give credit to Alfie Stewart. He did well. Oh, well, that was another bad cross too.
Jemison, Caskey, good football again from Caskey. Now this is Davidson. Fraser in a midfield position. Aim for him, and now it's McCaffrey. His first cup final, Conor McCaffrey. And that's a good strong run from him. Again, he was given space. Men forward, one of them's McCartney. Looking for Douglas. Stewart's there.
The difference I feel, Mark, too, at the moment is both George Neal and Conor McCaffrey are getting forward for Glentoran, which is keeping the pressure on Portadown. But young Major and Curlis, who's a very attacking-minded player, they're just sitting, they're getting about the halfway line, and that's where they're stopping.
Neal. Douglas. The ball is bouncing on this hard pitch. Quite high. McCaffrey. Neal's just getting there. Here's Douglas. Wise now to the bounce. For Jemison and Major intercepts. So it's basically all Glentoran with 22 minutes gone, but no goals. Caskey. Campbell wants it back. And eventually gets it. Campbell and Major. Campbell, not a bad looking cross that towards Douglas. And that was really top-class defensive play by Alfie Stewart. Neal, Stewart, Davidson, and put up from John Devine. But he's a quite exceptional player, Alfie Stewart, Roy Coyle.
He's had a tremendous season. Not only that, Alfie can play in various positions. He can win the midfield, he can go to left back. He's comfortable enough in the centre of the defence as well. He's a tremendous season for Portadown, and I think he's one of the reasons why they've had a very, very good season.
Strain. McCowan. Who gets it? Here he is again, looking for McKeever. Campbell. Smith has to run for that. That's really the first thing Smith has had to do, is to collect that back pass from Raymond Campbell, which almost went astray. Fraser, McKeever, Cowan. He's taken up a good position. We'll have to wait just a second. There's nobody in the box. Here's Cowan. Stevie Cowan has been here 3 months, came from Motherwell, and won a Scottish Premier League medal with Aberdeen.
He should have done better with that, so he should have the experience that he has, Mark. You know, that was a very, very poor finish from a lad who's got Premier League experience in Scotland. You may have done better.
It wasn't that bad. Davison and Neil. It's George Neil who passed a fitness test. 27 now, George, but has been around, seems, an eternity. Cowan. Good ball. McCready, McKeever on the run. Switched for Curlis. And Terry Moore intersects.
That's what they need, Mark. They need the likes of Curlis getting forward to give them more support.
Fraser, very, very skillful player. Davidson for Mills. Back towards McKeever. Up goes Moore. And that was Cowan again. And it's his second chance in about 3 minutes. And on both occasions, Roy, he's fluffed his kick.
Yeah, in fairness, that was a little bit more difficult. It was a high ball coming out of the sun, and he had to volley it first time with his left foot, and I don't think it's his favourite foot. You'll see, it's a good early ball in, bad defensive header, difficult volley to control and shoot.
There they are, Joey Cunningham on the left and Dougie Bell on the right. Gary McCartney still down, and George McGill sprinting on to attend to Glentoran's ace marksman. There's Ronnie McFall on the bench, and of course the pressure off him slightly, having won that league championship last week. First time in the club's history. And there's Gary McCartney, and no doubt that he really is in trouble, and he may not last much longer. And that will make a difference to this Glentoran side. A big difference.
No doubt about that. If he does come up, I feel they'll probably push Johnny Jemison to play alongside Douglas and probably bring Totten wide on the right.
Caskey, strain. Davidson. Douglas back well. Caskey, bars. Jemison is the man forward. Too far.
The last 10 minutes or so, Mark, I feel that Portadown are starting to crawl back into the game. You know, they've soaked up a lot of Glentoran pressure. They've forced them back. They've played the football. They've created the chances. But the sense that maybe that they can up the gears, which they have done, and they're getting in behind Glentoran at the moment.
Certainly proving so far what a good defensive side they are. Here's Fraser. Mills looking for Cowan. Here's Cowan. Just control let him down at the last minute. Davidson.
What a great ball, you know, and I think that's just typified the boys' game up to now. He was trying to control it. He had no confidence, and it was a bad cross with young Greg Davison as well.
Alan Snoddy just checking his watch there.
That's always a good sign when you don't mention the referee. It means he's having a good game. You know, normally when the referee's involved, he's stopping a lot of the play, but he's done well up to now.
Campbell, Mills, Moore. And Terry Moore gets his head to the ball. It's the last touch of the first half as Alan Snoddy blows his whistle. Glentoran with most of the play and most of the chances, although Stephen Cowan did have a couple of reasonable opportunities for Portadown. The score at half-time, though, is Portadown 0, Glentoran 0. There's Glentoran's second half substitute, Billy Totten, on for Gary McCartney. "45 minutes to go in this Irish Cup final. McKeever, Caffrey, McKeever again. That was Cowan for his Scottish teammate at Portadown, Sandy Fraser, but Terry Moore gets it back to Dean Smith. So Glentoran playing into a slight breeze, but it is a very slight breeze. There's Davidson. Spent a lot of this season on the bench, but started today's final. George Neal with the throw-in for Glens to Barney Bowers. Back to Dean Smith and Roy Coyle. Billy Totten on for Gary McCartney. What will Glentoran do now, do you think?
Well, they'll push Johnny Jamieson in just a straight swap for him and Gary McCartney alongside young Douglas, and Billy Totten will operate wide on the right-hand side. They'll depend on him to try and get the crosses for Douglas and Jamieson.
And I see too, Roy, that Raymond Campbell is heavily strapped as well.
Yes, that's true, Mark. I didn't see what happened. It looks as if the way he's strapped up, that could be a hamstring.
Davidson. Back goes Bars. Glentoran defence basically in control of things. Just a couple of chances reported on in the first half. Dean Smith having trouble with his kicking at the start of the second half. Here's Mills. And Terry Moore, route to goal was cut off. And there is that strapping around the right thigh of Raymond Campbell, maybe suggesting a hamstring complaint. So McCartney, who scored the first goal in the semi-final against Linfield, he's off, and the man who scored the second goal is strapped. Caskey, for Moore, for Dean Smith. So Roy McCready sticking the pace quite well. We thought he mightn't make it to half-time. Strain. Caskey. Devine just in front of him. Looks for Totten. Curlis, Devine. Stewart. Greedy. It's a good ball for Mills. Fraser in front of him. And Kevin McKeever's in a bit of space there. Looking for Cowan. Here's McKeever. Campbell. Nice turn. McCaffrey, Jamieson in front of him. This is Jamieson for McCaffrey, but it's gone to Douglas. Totten away to the right. And that's a free kick, Brian Strain, the Portadown captain, making the tackle. Stephen Douglas, 23 goals for Glentoran this season, came from Bangor. There's Raymond Campbell, has just gone off and obviously having problems with that strap leg. McCaffrey, Douglas, McCready away. Raymond Morrison has come on for Glentoran. Caskey, Totten for Douglas. Looking for Caskey, shot comes in, and that was Raymond Morrison's first touch of the ball. And well, he almost scored. Raymond Morrison, who gets married on the 9th of June. It's his 6th final. He's won 5 of them.
It's a tremendous little shot from the lad. But it's maybe not a bad thing, young Campbell coming off.
Talk more about that later. Meanwhile, Portadown pushing forward. Up goes Moore. George Neal. Devine. Totten. Curlis, and this is Davidson. Looking for Curlis in the overlap, but George Neal, one of the quickest players in the Irish League, covered it well.
Although we're still seeing for a change, we're getting Curlis forward. Maybe with a little bit of breeze, Mark, it could help them.
Curlis with the throw for Mills. Nice little flick towards Cowan. Stevie Cowan, Sandy Fraser. Well, the Scottish duo working well together there, and about Portadown's 4th chance of the game. But this might just show that the pattern of the match is beginning to change just ever so slightly. Glentoran, both substitutes on.
It's a good long throw. Cowan does well to keep it in play here, to hook it back in. And the lad should have done better. Fraser should have done better.
Strain. Davidson. Careless.
Be interesting, Mark, to see what effect Glentoran players have with McCartney going off him. It kind of way reminds me of Ian Rice for Liverpool. They depend a lot on him for his great goal scoring ability. And at the moment, they're not looking terribly comfortable. It's like a big loss to them at the moment, and it is a big loss.
Barney Bowers and Fraser. And well done, Sandy Fraser, but it's Tony Moore. So you get the feeling just at the moment, there's the Glentoran captain, Terry Moore, that he and his side have it's akin to losing your right arm almost. Gary McCartney off the field. Fraser for McCready. Did well enough in the end to even get the shot in under pressure from Kasky. Caffrey. Moore.
I don't care, but I still think that Roy McCready's struggling badly. I haven't seen him sprint since the first whistle until now, and he's a good honest pro, but he's struggling.
Totten. Jamieson. Well covered by Careless. Jamieson, who almost scored in the first 10 minutes. George Neal, the long throw expert on the Glentoran team, looking for Kasky, but it was McCready there. Neal gets a second chance. Looking for Jamieson. And this is Morrison with Mills. Mills, good player to have on your side because he gets through an awful lot of hard work.
Just talking about young Morrison, he's one of the very few midfield players in the country that do score goals from midfield. He makes great late runs, he times them well, and it's a very difficult job to try and pick up somebody coming from midfield. And it could maybe prove beneficial, his appearance for Glentoran in this half.
Jamieson, and that was Stewart, but here is Morrison. What a chance for Morrison. And he has made a difference since he came on. He's had 2 shots. That was well saved. Cowan. George Neal, and Moore clears away. Strain. Looking for Cowan. And for Fraser. Cowan! Oh, what a save by Dean Smith. And here's Fraser, but the flag's up. Well, Cowan had 3 good chances in the first half, and that was really a half chance, and he almost scored, but what a save by Dean Smith. Strain. Pretty. And Roy, the game has improved a bit in this second half.
Yes, it has. I really believe too that the Glentoran maybe have stepped it up a wee bit, knowing that they've lost their number 1 striker, that they've got to tighten up in other departments, and they have done that. But Portadown are creeping back in with the wind behind them. I think they feel with McCartney being off, that there's a great boost to them. But there's no doubt it's improved the game.
Ray Morrison. One of only 3 players to play in all of Glentoran's finals in the 80s, Ray Morrison. That's Jamieson. Major. Strain away. Here's Kasky. Devine. Douglas. The turn almost worked, but it was Brian Strain who did well. Keenan from Mills.
Both defences, Mark, have coped well with both opposing strikers. They haven't been under any serious pressure, and the key has got to come from maybe a midfield player, because the marking is very, very tight and nobody's getting too much room.
Terry Moore with the up and under. Kasky came in with Davidson hard. Totten. Stewart. Douglas, but Stewart doing very well. And this is McKeever, Kevin McKeever for Portadown. Oh, so close. Good effort, McKeever coming from midfield. And Roy Coyle, that's just what we were talking about a few moments ago.
Yes, it was a great run from Alfie Stewart. And it's the first time we've seen a midfield player shooting from midfield.
So that's the idea. One of the 4 former Glentoran players in this Portadown side, signed by Ronnie McFall. The crowd really getting behind their sides now. Millich still. Here's Devine. George Neal is the man wide on the right-hand side. Jemison. Totten's in the penalty area. So too is Morrison. But not so good from Johnny. What a sight that is to see the Spion Comp pretty well packed today.
I have a feeling you're going to see the appearance of Joey Cunningham. The match has died for Portadown again up front. Sandy Fraser in particular, it doesn't appear as if he's come out, but I think we'll maybe see Joey Cunningham come on very quickly and go up front.
Terry Moore with the header. Sandy Fraser. Curlis. 4 Mills. Well, it was Devine. Curlis again. 3 men in the penalty area. And one of them's McKeever. Moore. Totten. Stewart. Neal. Brady Mills in again. McCready, but only as far as Devine, playing in front of the back 4. Alfie Stewart had covered the ground back very well. Another strong run from Alfie Stewart, and another strong tackle from Barney Bars.
He's having a superb game, so is not just defending, but coming out of the back 4 as well. He's done well.
That man there too has had a good game, Barney Bars. Now perhaps a chance for Glentoran to break, and here's Johnny Jemison and Major. Well, I said Linfield, of course he played for Linfield, Johnny Jemison, and a long time ago, I might say. George Neal, right back for Glentoran with this throw. Billy Totten is short, but Neal does have a long throw in his armoury. Douglas. Strains there. Douglas did quite well. Here's Jemison looking for Neal. Oh yes, he scored, George Neal. The man does not score many goals for Glentoran, but what an important one.
It's good work with Jemison. He led the ball off well. And an unusual sight, George Neal's up in the box shooting.
Well, here it is again, and George Neal will remember that forever and a day, I'm sure, especially if it turns out to be the winner in this Irish Cup final. Douglas, good tackle by Strain. Here's Bell, the 29-year-old. for Cowan, and here's Doogie Bell. Has he got the pace? Doogie Bell, George Neal, now Fraser! Good save by Smith. Close to a 13th goal of the season for Sandy Fraser.
Tremendous run by Bell. That was a good block by George Neal, but again, you know, the two lads, he should have scored. You know, you can't have an excuse for that.
Moore, Devine, McCready and Cowan in a group. Major, Jamieson, and the flag was up on the far side.
I think today, Mark, just shows how much Portadown relied an awful lot on Marty McGee, because he was a tremendous asset to them, with getting teams to the halfway line, hitting the ball over the top, something in the same mould as Gary McCartney with the pace, and that's a big, big loss to them, and it could prove costly.
Stewart for Fraser, harmlessly behind. Former Celtic player, Sandy Fraser. Stewart, Bell, good skill from Bell. Davidson away to his left, strains forward. Moore. Jamieson, Stewart. Well, he can certainly lift the arm, so he'll probably stick it out to the end of the game.
And lift a cup too.
With one hand.
Again, you just get the feeling that Glentoran, even before the game, listening to the little quotes in the paper, that they had the greater appetite today. Portadown have a wonderful season, you know, they can't take anything away from them. And they were coming here today saying themselves, well, if we lose, so what? We won the league, that's the big one. And the pressure was off them. And I find that's a bad thing coming to a final when the pressure's off you, because you've got to have an edge, and Glentoran has definitely had the edge today over Portadown.
Jamieson, and Billy Caskey is onside. Stephen Douglas running away to the right, and here is Douglas. Yes, he's done it. 2-0. He must have secured the cup for Glentoran.
Pure early ball by Billy Caskey, and that's just reward for a lad who's done an awful lot of hard work today for Glentoran. He got his reward.
Well, he certainly deserved it. Stephen Douglas, Gary McCartney going off at half-time, the ace goal scorer for Glentoran. But Douglas, he can do the job as well. The Glentoran fans are truly delirious. Minutes to go. Can Portadown score 2 goals? Well, they haven't looked like scoring on too many occasions in this game, but now they just have to throw it all forward. And Glentoran could break again. Here's Douglas. Stewart has had a really top-class game, Alfie Stewart. Superb player. Just had a good ball though. Looking for Bell to run, but he didn't. Devine for Jamieson, Major's there. Devine calling for it. John Devine. Still Devine, possibly. And here's a chance for Morrison. 3-0.
As we talk about young Morrison getting into the box, it's a great asset he has, and that was a clinical little outside of the foot finish. Tremendous little cheeky goal.
He took it so well, did Raymond Morrison. He hasn't lost in a cup final. He's played in quite a few, and he's not going to lose in this one. They know it's over. heels all day, and that just gets a little bit out of hand for a second. He had the ball trapped between his knees, and McCready was going to get it out of there. Well, he's up and about. Great man, Billy Caskey. Great character in Irish league football for many years. Still going well. Into injury time at the end of this game. Toppin. And they get a fourth. For David Morrison. Handball, and just a question of playing out time. Tommy Jackson celebrating another cup success, his third. Major, McCowan. Bell. Biggie Bell in for Fraser and for Cowan. Away by Caskey. What ground he's covered. Biggie Bell and Jamieson. Well done, Johnny Jamieson. A good run from Jamieson. Douglas was to his left, but couldn't find him. Here's Stewart. Cunningham. Gives away the corner kick. Perhaps a chance for consolation, no, as Terry Moore gets the ball away. So the whistle about to blow. Billy Caskey has been named as the player of the final. £300 for the team pool. Well, Caskey on the ball there. Great game he's had. Here's a man who's played well too, Alfie Stewart. Came off bars, but only to kneel. Stephen Douglas. Major, but Alan Snoddy has blown his whistle. Glentoran celebrate. There's George Neal with John Devine, the man who scored the first goal in the 14th minute of the second half. They chant easy. Well, it wasn't easy, but it was convincing.
I thought we played very well, especially in the second half. The first half is both teams didn't give anything away. The second half, you know, we got the breakthrough, and I think that's what mattered. They started to come forward, push Brian Strain, left gaps at the back, and we got another 2 goals, which sealed it for us.
How much did you have to restructure when you lost Gary McCartney?
Well, we pushed Jamie from Wade, we pushed him into centre forward, and we brought Billy Patton on. And then young Campbell got hurt, and we just brought Morrison on. We had 2 great players on the bench, you know, fair dues to them, you know, and it didn't affect our team that badly. Man of the Match award. I'd like to know how you keep those legs going. I don't know, I think it's just the will to win, really. It keeps me going. I enjoy a game. I enjoy playing for Glentoran, and I've enjoyed it over the years. I just love a game. Well, that's all I can say. A right old battle, a ding-dong with Roy McCready, and of course you're well used to having battles with him and similar players, but was he struggling a bit today? Well, I don't know why I was struggling. Maybe I was just on the game for a change, but Roy and me have a good battle. We'll shake hands after the match. We'll probably have a pint after the game as well. It's just, you know, just 2 competitors, that's all. So Tommy Jackson, how do you feel after that? Another momentous occasion for Glentoran.
I'm delighted because I thought we played really well in the day, and the 3-0 was a really good scoreline for us. I don't think Portadown have any gripes over the result after the 90 minutes. But with losing McCartney and young Campbell with a hamstring just at half-time, very difficult. But we changed the pattern of play a little bit, and I think that it helped our front men. We found space and basically were able to go and take them on. And I think that that's what Portadown hasn't been done to Portadown all season. We've been able to get space behind them and go and score goals.
So well done to Glentoran. Their great cup tradition continues. Hope you enjoyed the match. From all of us here at Windsor Park, goodbye to you.